I'm doing pretty good. I'm so glad that summer is like coming to an end. I'm normally not like that. I normally am like, I don't want the kids to go back to
I
school. I want
know.
to continue playing and swimming and all of that fun stuff. But I'm looking forward to fall and Halloween, you know?
Yeah, I'm just glad to be out of the J months. Oh, they were
Yeah.
rough. They were brutal this year. I
Mhm.
don't know what is going on, but yes, we
Yeah.
are so happy to be in the second week of August. And
Yes.
the kids are headed back to school, so moms are ready to treat themselves. And
Yes.
hopefully, our books are going to get really, really full. And we're just going to be on our way into the busy season.
Yes. 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 We went to Universal Studios a few weeks ago and they were building the haunted houses for Universal Horror Nights. And it got me so excited for fall. So they have the Psycho House and the Bates Motel, and they have like that for that they actually used in the movies
Yes.
in the film. And Jaws is back there. And so it looks like they're going to be having some of those haunted houses back in those areas of the back lot. Normally, they don't open up quite that far. They're like on in sound stages. And I love Halloween. I'm a huge Halloween.
Yes.
Trying to get and to do some makeup on the horror nights.
Yeah.
Would
That
love
would
to
be
do
so
that.
fun. You're so good at that too. Oh my gosh. I remember that time you made me look like a really old lady. That was so
Yeah.
crazy. Even my teeth looked old. It was crazy. Yeah, we'll have to post some pictures of that for sure. That was
Yeah.
fun.
The
But
stretch and
yes,
stipple
you are
technique.
so talented when it comes to all of that. I mean, you're an amazing makeup artist anyway, but the special effects stuff is just your calling and you get so into it. And I can tell you're just so passionate about it.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's the
Yeah.
most fun. That's another area of aesthetics, makeup
Yeah.
artistry. It's one of those avenues that a lot of estheticians take, and I highly recommend it if, if got that creative side to you, then makeup is a big one. So did you guys go on any trips this summer? Any vacations?
We are just getting back from the beach. We went to Navarre for the week and stayed in a hotel on right on the beach. Just my husband and I. Blaine spent some time with his dad, and Bailey's in school, in cosmetology school. Yeah, they didn't come with us this time, and it was really, really nice just to get away. We started our trip in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and rented a little golf cart and stayed in a cute little cottage and just had the best time. So, yeah, leading up to that, though, we were all summer has been consumed with this new business. So, yeah, I kind of was feeling like, man, I missed out on so much. And so, at the end of the summer, I decided, you know what, we're just going to do it. We are just going to take the time off. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And really, it's good to do it at that time because everybody's going back to school and people, it's kind of the hustle and bustle. And so it's usually a pretty dead week anyway. So
Yeah.
it made sense for us. So yeah, we just took off and went and just had a great relaxing time. And that's important to do. You've got to take some time for yourself.
That is so good. And get away from those kids,
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
That's
first,
something we
yeah,
need to
it
do.
makes you a
Austin
better
and I,
mom.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
something we
it
need to
does.
do. We actually need to go on a trip. So, Austin, when you're editing this, I would like you to take me on a vacation, just you and
Yeah.
I. Let's
Awesome.
see. The wine country would be nice, or Hawaii.
Yeah, that would be
Let's
awesome.
to my husband who edits our podcast for us. So, maybe he'll make that happen. Welcome to Pretty Smart 2, where Brandy and I dish out real talk for beauty pros who want to raise the bar. Today, we're diving into how a clean, organized treatment space paired with high-end amenities creates an elevated client experience that keeps guests coming back. We'll share the must-have upgrades, where to find them, and how to make every detail whisper luxury from the moment your client walks in on this episode of Pretty Smart 2. This episode is actually a continuation of last week's episode. So if you missed last week's episode, just click right here or right there. I think it'll be right here. Click right.
Wherever you see words on the screen.
Yes. that'll link you up to last week's episode, and you can learn all about machines to buy, what not to buy, what to buy, where to go and get them. In the show notes, we put all of the links to all of the things that we talked about for purchases. So it made it really easy for you. It's going to take the guesswork out of all of your big purchases, all your smaller purchases, so you don't make the mistakes we made and waste money and waste time and energy on things that you don't want anyway. So definitely check it out. And this week's episode is going to be more on the consumable side of things. So the products, where you get those consumable items. I have lots of little hacks and tips to give you. So we'll get started. I'm Laura Barrow. I'm a licensed esthetician. I own a solo suite in Elite Beauty Bar and Aesthetics here in Pasadena, California. I have a solo suite there. It's called Laura's, where I specialize in corrective facials and waxing and makeup artistry.
I'm Brandy Kyle, and I am in Arkansas. I'm a cosmetologist, licensed cosmetologist for about 10 years now, and I own two day spas, one in El Dorado, Arkansas, and one 2 hours away in Little Rock, Arkansas. I specialize in Nova Lash eyelash extensions. That's what I do the most of. Enjoy ZO medical grade facials as well, but I think I'm pretty much known to be the Nova Lash eyelash person in this area. So, and I really enjoyed that.
Brandy is actually the Arkansas trainer for Nova Lash, which is a testament to her skills and her talent. And yeah, look up Brandy if you're interested in learning how to become a licensed and accredited lash extension expert. Reach out to Brandy because she is the one to show you the way for sure.
Absolutely. I love that part of my job. It's so much fun training newbies in this field. That's really where my heart is. I love helping others be successful.
Yeah. If you haven't done so already, do please like and subscribe how you're listening to us.
And please leave us a review. A 5-star review will really help us out.
We do have our website, which is prettysmart2.com, where we have a wonderful merch page. And we were talking earlier, we have a lot of great interviews coming up with people in the industry from all over the industry. Any of you out there listening, say you are representing a product line that we speak about that we love, or that something that you have that's new that's coming out, send us an email through our website, and would love to hear from you and maybe be able to interview you in the future as well.
Oh, that would be so much fun. We would love that. So please reach out to us. And also, for those of you listening that have supported us and sent us text messages and emails and received phone calls and just the sweetest, kindest things that you've said, just we really appreciate that. That is so important to be our little cheerleader and keep us going so that it keeps us positive and encouraged to do more and more. But yes, thank you so much. Sorry about that, everyone. We had to have a location change because our really cute location at Petaway Square has jazz in the park every Friday night. And so they are actually setting up downstairs, and they use my front door as their stage. So some really awesome musicians just showed up, and they had their amps and their big drum and their all this equipment.
Part of having a location, it's
Yeah.
like special events, or
Yeah.
there's always something going on that you never know what's going to happen.
You just work around and you hope that it's all good, because sometimes it's not all good. I think
Yeah, that's true. We've had some funny situations. We had, let's see, Spa Main, we had the sidewalks literally ripped out from in front of the store.
I forgot about that.
Yes, for a couple of months we had no sidewalk, and that talk about dropping your business, super dropping business. But we got creative and we had no sidewalk sale. So instead of having a sidewalk sale, we had a no sidewalk sale. They put like wood boards for people to walk over the plank, walk the plank into the spa, please. So funny.
I forgot about that.
So that happened. We had some interesting neighbors. Had some lovely neighbors, but we did have a couple of interesting ones. One
really enjoyed the marijuana. Yeah, 'cause I remember you had like a youth director or something that you were doing a
Yeah.
facial on, and you came out of the room and you were like, "Laura, she's gonna think that I've been smoking marijuana." I thought, "Oh, it
Yeah.
can't be that. Is it really that bad?" I don't know. I was like, "Put some eucalyptus in the air." I don't know.
Yes.
So I go in the room after the lady leaves, and I mean, it was like a hot box in there. Crazy. You thought it
Yes.
was like 420 parade in
Yes.
New Orleans or something. It
It
was
was so bad.
yeah. So then we had the guy across the way with the blower. Remember the guy with the blower? Like to blow the leaves and whatnot. But the problem was he blew them towards the spa. So my neighbor had a blower also. And I went over and I was like, "Can I borrow your blower?" And so I start blowing. So he's
Yep.
blowing the
The
leaves
war of the
across the
blowers.
street, Main Street, and I'm blowing them right back at him. And we're
Yeah.
just creating a leaf like tornado in the middle of Main
In the middle
Street.
of the street. Yes.
And all the other business owners are coming out and laughing and enjoying the show. Yeah.
You don't know it until you move in. Like you think, and all the thing. I mean, and this tonight was not a burden or anything like that. It's a really cool thing. I love that they're doing that. At the same time, if I would have been downstairs with a client doing a facial, it might not be so cool. So there's just things that you want to, I think there's a reason that you should check out your, your space before hand probably every day of the week. Try to just like go by there, drive by there all different times during the day and just
Yeah.
see kind of what it looks like around there. Even my space in El Dorado, for a long time when we first moved in, we didn't have any neighbors at this restaurant that was like adjacent to us. And so we just got used to it just being us in the alleyway where we put all of our trash. And so we just got really used to it. It was always clean, always, smelled nice and everything. Well, then a restaurant moved in, which we were so grateful for. I mean, we needed a restaurant. But at the same time, we didn't think about what it would be like to share a trash space with a restaurant. You've got to protect your business, and your clients that are coming into a spa service definitely don't want to smell like food or cigarettes or weed for that matter, so you just want to think about your clients and what that looks like. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was good
Yeah.
advice. And what better way? We had a real life situation tonight.
If you want some more of those fun stories, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, for sure. We have tons of stories.
Big important thing, of course, is to keep your room clutter free. We don't want to have a bunch of
Absolutely.
clutter. Actually, a doctor's office that I enjoyed going to for this reason, for the reason of it was so clutter free and it was so interesting, especially for a doctor's office. And so I actually stole some of her ideas. She has the cutest little waiting room with rock and
Yeah.
roll playing. I mean, you don't feel like you're
Mhm.
out. There's no elevator music. It's like
No.
rock and roll. There's like essential oils going and these great smells, Topanga scents going. She would have that and it just smelled so good. And in her office, instead of having the little containers that said cotton, gauze, that sort of thing, she had those really pretty containers from like Pier 1,
Oh
back in the
yeah,
day
like
or
the really
whatever.
nice.
They're
Yeah.
really nice,
Mhm.
that you would have in your kitchen or something. But she would put
Yeah.
her
Like canisters. They were almost like canisters for your kitchen. Yeah.
yes. And so I do that. I use
Mhm.
canisters for my room.
Yeah.
I like these
I
really
do
pretty
too.
canisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. But very important, just good little storage, just nice little hack instead of using the ones that you want more of a medical setting. I feel like my space does have a medical feel to it, but I do
Yeah.
use those cute canisters. And I've had people say, "Oh, I love your canisters,"
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
noticed, like I noticed in her office. So that's
Yeah.
a little tip for you is you can get creative with your containers and you can kind of bring in your decor that way.
Yes.
Yeah, and that
And a
makes it fun.
great way, yeah, a great way to bring in decor when you don't have a lot of money, like moi. So when we first got started in El Dorado, we had so many walls that were just bare, and I was like, how am I ever going to fill all of these walls? And I have a good friend, Ann Trimble, who is a local artist. And so partner with a local artist in your community and reach out to them and say, hey, okay, I don't have money to purchase your $1,000 paintings in every room in my place. I'll be happy to support you in other ways by bringing in your artwork. And Laura did this. I mean, Laura, that's who I learned it from. And bring in your artwork, and then they put a tag beside every piece, and every piece is for sale. And so you can change those out. Basically, it becomes their art gallery. So, like, now we're known. We've even been featured in a magazine that said you can see Anne's pieces at Kyle and Co. They were featuring her, but we even got mentioned because we helped her out by now she's like, she said she was going to have to rent a gallery, and now she doesn't have to. And so, and then another cool thing that our town does is the art walk every year. So every year our downtown has an art walk, and you can go in different retail businesses downtown, just walk the square and see different artists' paintings. And so she'll change out our artwork every year during that. And it's just been really cool. And she's sold several pieces from that. I mean, I just had to replace on Mother's Day. I had this great painting in my room that I loved so much. And one of my really good clients came in for a facial, and she said, you know what? I'm going to tell my husband that I want that painting for Mother's Day. And he did. He came in and purchased it. And so Anne brought another piece and put it up in my room because she knows, I mean, you're getting that. Yeah, I mean, we probably have 50 clients in a day that come through, you know, between all of the service providers. And so, yeah, I mean, it's what better way that you've got a captive audience right there that can purchase art. So that's a great way to do that. And I remember you doing that with Danielle Cole, and she had all of her stuff up there, and you sold several pieces of hers as well. It's just,
I bought a couple of pieces because I had people interested. Well, so I would get sad. People would buy the art, and some of the pieces you become attached to. And
that's
there was
how
one
it
a lady was said to me, she's like, I love that piece. And I said, it's already sold. I'm sorry, I bought it. So I sent Danielle some money that day, and I was like, I'm buying this piece because I don't want anybody else to buy it.
I should have done that, but I just couldn't know. Pam would kill me. The lady that ended up with
Yeah.
it, she was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do become you love the pieces, and they fit so well. And then like Anne is the artist, and so she came and like decorated my space for me. She knew where they fit best, and yeah. So when they do sell, it is kind of sad, but it's a great way to decorate your space and help out an artist in your town.
Yes.
And local art is so important for all of our communities.
One way, so when we first moved into the space, I knew some local artists, but I also had an art gallery. I'm sorry, well, she had a lot of art, framing store that also had a lot of art that she hung for people similar to this. And I spoke with, it was Backwoods Art and Frame, and spoke with the owner, Rhonda Hicks, who's retired now, wonderful friend of ours, and asked her if what she, you know, if we could do that, if we could use some of the pieces that she had. And she was the one that was like, oh, it needs to be female artist. That would be really good, you know, and we
Yes, I
could
love
feature
that.
and she would, I would just beautifully curate like these. It would match the room or what, you know, what we had.
Yeah.
So that's a good way. If you don't know a local artist, go to an, you know, a local art gallery and ask them, and they'll point you in the right direction. Next, we're going to talk about our linens and our towels and all of those soft goods that make our spas so luxurious. What do you have a brand that you love?
Of course. Yes. Sposh. It's SPOSH. And I purchase all of my towels and my sheets from them. And that brand is just amazing. Their sheets are microfiber, but they don't feel, I don't know how to explain it. They don't get those little beads on them at all. Like I mean, we've been going on 3 years now with the same sheets that we got. I would tell you this. I made the mistake of, I wanted everything black and white whenever we first opened. I wanted my whole aesthetic, and it looks beautiful for about 6 months when you get white sheets. Because I thought, why? Well, that makes sense. I can just keep bleaching them. You can only bleach them so many times, and then they just and they haven't there's no holes in them or anything like that. They just kind of look dingy. It's just not a good, it's not even, they don't look white anymore. So I would recommend not getting white. What is the color that you love? The
I love moonstone.
moonstone.
It took me a little while to find that color. We started with gray at Spa Main, had those for several years, like 5 years. I mean, I'm telling you, and we were a busy spa.
Oh yeah, they last forever.
They last forever, and they don't wrinkle. They feel like almost like bamboo. like the
Yeah.
bamboo sheets that you can
Yeah,
get that
they're
are really
great.
expensive, but they're not super expensive. Another
Mhm.
little trick of the trade, I only ever order flat sheets. I don't get fitted.
Oh, I
I
don't
just
either.
lay a flat
Yeah,
on top of a flat
me too.
because it's so frustrating when you go to, well, I worked in places where we do have the fitted sheets and you go and grab 2 fitted sheets and then you're like, oh, I have to run back to the laundry to get my
And they're
flat
never
sheet.
gonna fit. They don't fit a facial table. So there's really no point. Yeah, I always do just the flat sheets, just the twin
Yeah,
size flat sheet.
flat sheet, perfect. We would get so many compliments on Splash that we ended up carrying them at the spa.
Yeah. Yeah, I've ordered them just for people, but yeah, they're amazing. And then their towels are exactly the same. The towels are just they just get softer and softer the more you wash them. So I love, love, love those. Now I've never tried their like coverlets or their, comforters or anything like that. I'm sure they're amazing. What you
I
got
just
one?
got one. I
Do you
got one
love
from
it?
my new location. I love it. It's got a little bit of a weight to them, so it gives you that extra bit of comfort, but they're not so heavy, like not so thick that it's going to be super hot. So it's going to be a little weight without
Hmm.
the holding in the heat, which I think people like. I do a little
Hmm.
heated thing, whatever those things are called, like a heated bed.
Heating pad. Heating pad.
Heating pad, like those long
Yeah.
heating trick for that too. So you can order those off of, all the spa places that you can order things or Amazon. Got one from Walmart years ago. It was winter time and it was like the Christmas area, the holiday area where they have, things that little specialty things that maybe you wouldn't
Yeah.
always buy. So it was in a little gift package and it was the way they market it, it's for the end of your bed for your feet, just a heated little
But it's
bed
probably the
thing.
perfect size.
It's the perfect size. And it was like 10 or $15. It was so affordable. And so I was like, I'm getting one for
Yeah.
every table at Spa Mates. I did. And it lasted.
I'm glad to know about the Sposh coverlet. I may have to get some of those, but I have just always purchased off Amazon and just get a twin size. And I get the quilts. I get the black quilts, and we can put that in our whenever we create the list of
Yeah.
things. But yeah, we can put it in there. They're $12.99. You can't beat the price.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you can get
And
that
they
far.
have they've lasted. Like, I mean, I still have them 3 years later. They've lasted. Now, sometimes the seams will come apart at the top where you're constantly doing this, the seam comes apart. But I think I'm just going to find somebody that sews, and because I'm not a sewer, I'm a taper and all that kind of stuff, staple and
Hot gluer.
everything else. Yeah. I'll find somebody that can just stitch those up. But other than that, they have lasted like really, really
Everything that we talk about today will be linked in our show notes. Also be on our Amazon cart that we're creating. You can go to Amazon and just purchase right from there. And we'll have that link in our show notes as well. So yeah, check that out for sure. Next is our consumables. So your disposable gloves, non-latex is always preferred, by the way. So of course, there's lots of latex allergies out there. So we want to go with non-latex gloves, cotton rounds, and your little cotton tip applicators. You can purchase on all those spa sites, or you can go to Amazon. So love it. Do you hate it? What are your opinions on Amazon, Brandy?
I can't live without it. I will say that. I cannot live without Amazon. It's just too easy. You can order, and now that I'm in Little Rock, I mean, I can order today and it's here tomorrow. Sometimes it's even here the same day. I mean, it's so quick. You can't beat that. And really you can't beat the prices. I mean, you just can't. So, I mean, for things that you're going to throw away, yes, Amazon is perfect for that. But do not purchase skincare products. So yeah, you just really can't beat Amazon for your consumables and disposable items that are you're going to be using because of the quickness and because of the price. I mean, you really are not going to find, we always want to shop local when we can, but a lot of times you can't find, I'm just thinking of all the lash wands. I mean, I need to buy those in bulk, of course. And so, I'm just thinking of cotton rounds. I mean, just so many things that I just every day. I mean, like we purchase paper panties for the spray tan room, just all these things.
good point with Amazon is you can always do subscribe also and get a little bit more of a discount. So if you know that you go through a couple of boxes of paper towels in a month, well, every month you can get your paper towels. And then you're not going to the store and buying, a cart full of paper towels, So for things like that, Amazon, yeah, definitely highly recommend, but definitely not your products. You don't want to purchase because there is a lot of fakes out there, a lot of phony, it'll look real and then it comes in and it's not
It's
what you
not.
can. No, yeah. So you definitely want to get that from your reliable sources,
Absolutely.
and your
Yeah.
professional sources. So for sure. Yeah. And then, so that would be for do you have any favorite gloves, like your favorite disposable gloves or non-latex gloves that you like to use?
Pride is my favorite. That's the brand that I usually purchase. If you can, here's a tip. If you can find, and they have these, they're popping up everywhere now, especially in larger cities. El Dorado had one for a short amount of time, and just so happens I made friends with those people. And so, like, even today, she texted me and she said, "Hey, we're getting gloves for $1.99 a box. How many do you need and what
Wow.
size?" But if you can find those Amazon, it's like the one that we had was like a Hog Wild bins and bargains place, but you'll see them. Price Cutter is one that's in Hot Springs, but they have them all over you. They're popping up everywhere where people are buying pallets from Amazon, overstocks or returns or whatever. And so you can go in these places, and a lot of times that's what they have the most of is gloves, and they're not like returns, are not open. It's completely legit, and you'll get a box for like $1.99. And right now, ever since COVID, you can't find gloves for like less than $10 a box anywhere that I know of. I mean, that's even the Amazon price. So if you can get in with people like that, that's awesome. Like those people are so good to me. When they opened, though, I mean, I went every week. I went every Monday on my day off, and I would buy them up every single, whatever kind of gloves they had, and I would buy those from them. And so now they remember me, and they don't have their store anymore, but they can still get things, and so they get stuff in the mail. And so he got one in the mail today that said $1.99 gloves, and they were like, "How many do you want?" And I was like, as many as you can get. I mean, for $1.99, like you can't go wrong with. Give me 100 boxes. I mean, that, and because they're not going to go bad, it's gloves. I mean, put them in a cabinet in a temperature controlled room, and you're good.
Yeah, that's good. We need these hacks right now too. I know I've noticed just ordering product recently, and I haven't
Yeah.
really had to order for myself in over like a year and a half, because I was working for someone and now I'm working for myself. Well, prices have gone up. The tariffs, not to get political at all, tariffs definitely are
Everything.
affecting our industry, you know, with those prices, even the American made product lines, because where do they source their materials from? So, everybody's prices are going up. So
Yeah. It all went up for sure. Yeah.
now if we're going to get into our room flow and how you set up your treatment room. So from walking into your treatment room and where your clients put their things is important to remember to have a nice little space. And I always like to have little mints there, or that's where I have a few promotional items. I like to have a little picture frame that has your next appointment is 4 weeks and it has the date, what that next appointment.
Yes.
If you 6 weeks and then it says that and then it has the date.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it starts that conversation on pre-booking, which is so important to do. To have a little material about maybe a service that you just unfortunately can't talk a lot about, like the Care service for the hair with hydrofacial. I like to always have like a flyer about that out, because it's one of those things that I just unfortunately sometimes I forget to mention it, and that way they're able to
Yeah,
see.
you can't mention everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like to have that, and then have my table is always set with a wrap on the table for the person. And I have my little table for them, but they go right to my hot towel cabinet and put their purse right down, right in front of
Yes.
my hot towel cabinet. And I'm like, I do not want
Yeah,
to
or they'll
get.
come like behind the table and set it up next to their product, like your products are set up right there. You're like, no, this is not right here. Yeah. Exactly.
That's,
But
you
yeah,
know, just
always have a spot. A clothing rack is really nice. If some sort, that or like a hanger so that they can hang their top on it, just things like that that you want to think about are so important.
yeah. I noticed in your space that you have robes off of a restroom. How do they go? Do you take those robes into the room or do they go into that restroom and select their robe?
Both actually, depending on if they're having a massage first and we know they're going to go into a facial, we'll bring the robe to them and it'll be in the treatment room and we'll say, okay, when you get done, you could place, you could put your robe on, and then we have a basket that they can place their personal things in. And we just carry the basket for them. We don't expect them to. We grab the basket and carry it to the next room so that they're ready. But also, we have some people that are coming in for a spray tan. And so they like to go into the restroom first, remove their clothing, put on their robe, and then go to the spray tan room. That way that their personal items are not in the spray tan room because everything gets covered in spray tan. So that's why we have them right there. And honestly, that's just where it kind of fit. That's where we had that little area that was it's almost like a mud room situation. And so there's like we have a shelf, and that's where we keep all of our blankets that'll go onto into the rooms. And we keep the sheets and everything in drawers, of course, because you have to. But those bulkier items, like we have throw blankets and we have the coverlets that go on the tables, we have all of those stacked in that area because there's a shelf, and then there's it's like a closet hanging rack. And so that's where we put all of the robes.
I like that. That's really nice. I like that you carry the basket for them because, I mean, that's a great solution. So they're not having to get redressed to then go get undressed again. So that's really nice. And then it's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Really good.
You want it. I mean, we need to be a concierge service. Like this needs to be a luxurious experience. Those are those things that keep that person coming back, and they're not feeling like, oh, well, I had to, I took my clothes off, but I had to carry this basket, and I mean, just had a massage, and I mean, don't do that. Just everything that you can do for that person, do it while they're there. No matter what, just any kind gesture that you can do it. You're never going to go wrong with being kind.
Yes, definitely have waters for them or have a water filtration system that you can refill. All those little special touches definitely make a big difference for sure.
When we first opened, we just had a very small space, but we still tried to create like a relaxation area. And so when you first come in, we have like sitting area with nice comfy chairs, and then we had a small refrigerator that's for the clients. And so in there we keep only clear liquids. So we would have like ginger ale. We would try to get like high end brands. And so not like Canada Dry. We didn't do, I can't remember what it was. It was it was a fancier brand of ginger ale, and they were like these little smaller cans. And then I would get like Fiji water. And it just made the experience a little bit nicer. And they're like, oh, wow, this is, and I know
Yeah.
it's silly, but it really does. I mean, it puts that thought in their head of like, okay, this is an elevated experience. This is really, this is really cool. And I need to, your gratuities will be higher. The way that they feel about you will matter more. I mean, they just know, they pay attention to that stuff. They know that you're paying attention to detail, and they pay attention to that. And they're like, man, I'm really going to go back to Brandy's place because, first of all, I didn't walk into people just standing around and gossiping like you see in a lot of salons. They felt comfortable immediately. People say that. They say, this was really intimidating coming in here, for me, I'd struggle with whatever. I mean, we're all women and we know how women are. And so people feel intimidated. But then the minute they walked in and saw how nice we were and how they were treated, and that we were an elevated experience, that they were going to have a really nice, refreshing drink, or we may have wine. We always have wine on hand. We always have champagne on hand, and we always have bourbon for men. I just think that's a really classy way of just greeting the person when they come in and letting them know that, hey, it's time to relax. And then we always have little snacks. You just want to have like nuts, some type of, a little bit of protein, not anything crazy. And you don't want to get into like cheesy stuff where that's the thing with like the clear liquids and then like anything. Those are just really good recommendations because you are still going to have people that come in with their kids, or you're just going to have those situations where it's just people that don't really understand that you don't wipe your fingertips on the furniture, or that sort of thing. So just keep the clear liquids in case somebody spills anything, and then keep your snacks really light and just plain, like, plain peanuts and plain chips and stuff like that, pretzels and things like that, just in case. And then, like where we're at, of course, we're also a med spa. And so we've got people that are coming in for like IV infusions, so they might get lightheaded. So you just want to have that stuff on hand. But it is an elevated experience, and it is something that you should provide, in my opinion. It's something you should provide. I've been to places, in fact, recently I was somewhere and I was thirsty. I was getting my hair done and I was thirsty, and I looked over and I saw that they were trying to do this. So they had the refrigerator. They had a Post-it note on the outside of the refrigerator that said drinks $1. And I just thought, no. If you feel like that's something a luxury that you really can't afford in the beginning, add it into your service price. Add an extra dollar onto each, service. And that way you'll make up for it, because it just separates you from other people, and it's an elevated experience, which is what we talk
Yes.
about.
Yes, I love that. I will say I learned a hard lesson with that because I'm very frugal, and for most things, I do like quality things. But I was noticing as we would buy Coca-Colas and Diet Cokes, and we had Mountain Valley water. Arkansas is famous for our Mountain Valley water. You got Whole Foods, the green bottle that comes from Arkansas. So we had it brought in, and I also am big on like recycling, so I didn't want to have a bunch of plastic. We had a big glass bottle, like a big one with a dispenser, and we had a little paper cups, so that way we're not using a bunch of plastic. Because I am very frugal, I was noticing that our Coca-Colas would disappear so quick, and I was spending just, all this money on Coca-Cola, which I shouldn't have thought of it that way. It was an elevated experience. I should have thought of more the way Brandy is thinking about it, because this is correct. What I did was not correct. I started buying LaCroix and putting them in the refrigerator because people in our little community were not fans of the LaCroix.
I remember this. I remember this. Yes.
But I
I
like
was like, this stuff is all. I remember one time I was drinking and I was like, this stuff is awful. Why do you keep buying this? And you're like, that's why. Because they won't drink them all up. I'm like, you are so smart. That is very smart. That's a good idea.
Well, so if you can't afford the more expensive things, get stuff that people don't like, but it's still there.
Exactly.
It looks like
It's still an elevated experience.
I think that you should have that elevated, nice experience. Yeah. And it's more hospitable. It's so much better. And I learned my lesson too. I did start bringing in the better things. So
I remembered the brand of the ginger ale, and this is probably going to make me sound awful because people are going to be like, "That's not a fancy brand," but it's Fever Tree. Fever Tree is what it was called, and it was fancy for us in South Arkansas. Yeah,
oh, it's
in
fancy.
South Arkansas, it was fancy because people hadn't heard of it. Yeah, it was really nice. So
They have ginger beer, really good ginger beer. So good. The little
yeah, they do. Yeah, exactly.
I love
Yeah.
it. So now, hey, we have all these great stories, some fails, some positives, some all in between, all the stories. So if you're liking this, make sure that you subscribe. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, please share, please tell all your esthetician friends about us.
Okay, well, we had a lot of good information today on how to set up your spa space. And I think that this leads us to the tip of the week. And this week's tip of the week is a poem, so I will be reading it. I definitely cannot memorize all of this. So here we go. It's very positive. When your space is clear, your mind can soar. Less on your desk means your thoughts hold more. a list, a label, a place for each thing. Order invites what chaos can't bring. I love that. So tidy, a corner. Sort just one drawer. Small steps toward peace. Open every door. It's very good. I really like that. Clear your spaces and make everything tidy and just nice and elevated. That's the best advice we can give you. If you haven't taken that away from this episode, that is pretty much sums it up. So we appreciate you being with us, and we will see you next week
Yep.
on
Pretty smart too.
Pretty Smart Too. See you
Thank
next
you,
week.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you. Do the pageant wave.